Okay, welcome to AE Helps IELTS test preparation videos. To begin with, we're going to look at 3 key strategies for the IELTS. These are strategies that you need to use and practice in all sections of the IELTS. That means the listening, reading, writing, and speaking. What's very important to remember about the IELTS or any other English entrance exam into a country or into a university is there are 2 ways that you can improve your score on the IELTS exam. This is true for the academic and it's true for the general as well. So first let's talk a little bit about that. So 2 ways to improve scores. The first way that you can improve your score on the IELTS is by increasing your language skills. So, improve language skills. And when I say improve language skills, there are 2 ways to do this. For example, the first, you can increase your vocabulary. So just learn more words. Increase vocabulary. If you're studying for the general IELTS, you want to focus on increasing your colloquial or everyday spoken vocabulary. If you're studying for the academic IELTS, it's a good idea to increase your vocabulary for academic purposes, and there are academic word lists that you can find online and other places to help you with that. So increasing your vocabulary is one way to increase your language skills. The other way to increase your language skills is by increasing your grammar. So when I say increasing your grammar, I mean being more accurate with your grammar and using complex grammar like present perfect, past perfect, conditionals, passive as well as active voice, and so on. So that's improving your language. The second way that you can improve your score on the IELTS exam is by increasing your communication skills. This means that increasing your ability to convey or get across information to other people in a clear, coherent way. That means that when you have an idea and you're talking about it or writing about it, the other person can easily and clearly understand what you're trying to tell them. And of course, the other side is comprehension. So understanding quickly and clearly what other people are trying to tell you. So the IELTS is testing these 2 skills, of course, with the listening and reading for the comprehension, and then for expression and fluency, the writing and the speaking. So improve communication skills. So again, to improve your communication skills, you need to focus on it in 2 ways. One is with comprehension. And then, of course, the other side of this is producing clear, structured information. So these are the 2 ways that you can improve your score on the IELTS. The first way to improve your language skills, vocabulary, and grammar, that's something you should focus on regularly. It takes a little bit more time. It takes a little bit more practice and exercise. Improving your communication skills is something that can be done a little bit faster. These videos will focus on both, so I will help to improve your language, and I will focus a lot on improving your communication skills. If you need to increase your IELTS score by 0.5, 1 point, or 1.5, the fastest way to do this is to improve your communication skills. So the next step that we're going to take is looking at 3 key strategies for communication. And these 3 strategies for communication will really help you to get better scores on all 4 sections of the IELTS exam. So let's have a look at those now. All right, so 3 key strategies for communication. The first strategy that we're going to talk about is what's called critical thinking. Maybe you heard about this before, maybe not. Critical thinking is the most important lesson that universities try to teach you as well. Critical thinking is the ability to analyze information in a logical, systematic, step-by-step way. So, to analyze information in a step-by-step, systematic way. We have other words that are similar to critical. For example, criticize. Criticize is a verb which means to analyze someone's work and then complain or give suggestions about their work based on our analysis. A critic is a person noun. A critic is a person who analyzes a service or a product and then gives their opinion, like someone who goes to a restaurant, tries the food, and then writes for a magazine. The restaurant gets 4 stars from 5 because the service was good, the food was delicious, and so on. So that's a critic. Critical is the adjective, and critical thinking means to think in a way where we analyze information in a step-by-step, systematic way. Okay, the second key strategy, which is really important for the IELTS, is what's called paraphrasing. When you see nice big words like paraphrasing in the English language, and maybe they're new for you, one way you can try to understand them is to break the word into its pieces. So here, the first part of the word is para. Para is the prefix or the beginning of the word. The root is phrase, and the suffix is ing. So if you can figure out the prefix, that can help you to figure out the word. Prefixes are usually prepositions like in, at, on, above, below, and so on. If you think about other words that begin with para, you can sometimes guess what kind of preposition this means. So think about paragraph or paramedic or parallel lines. Try to imagine these, and then you will realize that the connection here is para means something like beside or close to. So beside or close to, phrase means words with meaning, and ing here is showing the word form, which in this case is a noun. So the definition of paraphrasing is to say the same idea using different words. Or I guess another way you can think about this is to say the same idea using words that have beside or close to meanings. Okay? All right, and the third key strategy, which we will discuss with some examples, is what's called visualization. Now, visual, like television, means to see something. and visualization meaning the noun here of seeing. Visualization simply means to see information. So when you hear something, like for example the IELTS listening section, or when you're reading something like the IELTS passages, then you see that information clearly in your head. Again, this can help you a lot to answer questions faster, more clearly and better. So visualization means to translate information into pictures in the mind. All right, so these are the 3 key strategies. Again, we're going to look at these in detail so you can practice these before your IELTS exam, and these will really help you to improve your score quickly, and you're going to be very confident, not just in the IELTS, but even in school or work after. So again, remember, critical thinking to analyze information in a step-by-step system. Paraphrasing to say the same idea using different words. For example, let's go, we should leave. And visualization to translate information into pictures in your mind. All right, so that's what these are. Now, when we look at new ideas, we usually have 3 very important questions. The first is what, and that's what we're doing here. And then after, the second question is always why. Okay, so why is critical thinking important? Why is paraphrasing important? Why is visualization important? And the third question that we need to answer when we're looking at new information is always the how. Okay, so how can we think critically? How can we paraphrase effectively? And how can we visualize well? So we're going to answer these 3 questions for each one using some examples from AE Help's curriculum book to show you how to practice these and how to master these kinds of techniques. Again, remember, new information requires what, why, and how. All right, so let's look first at why we should use critical thinking.